This is John Mathis Jr. here in the Mansion Entertainment Studio, and all the way from New York State, not New York City, I have Sherry Ann.
How are you?
So, those that follow the channel know that sometimes we talk about subjects and topics that help other artists, independent artists. So I always like to get seasoned veterans, people that are out there, they've done beating the road and beating the phone and beating the computer and whatever, just to get where you're at. And sometimes, like I go up to people sometimes that are in great shape and they look healthy and everything, and I quit doing it because I kept getting the same answer. It wasn't a magic pill or anything like that.
Right.
The answer is always hard work.
That's right.
And
You're
so
right.
one of the things I want to talk to you about today, and we've had Steve Hess on because I was always amazed at him keeping his schedule full, is booking dates. I get that question more than probably anything else. Like, people look for a booking agent. They look for this. They look for.
Right.
They kind of look for a magic answer on getting dates, and they're real. So far, I haven't found one. So, your schedule, you go all over the place, and so what do you have a secret
To getting dates?
Yeah.
Well, being that I'm single, I do not have a secret for getting dates. I don't get any dates. No. So anyway.
Where's my rim shot?
No, but in all seriousness, wow, there is no secret and there is no magic pill.
But everybody has a different approach, so there isn't one approach. So how have you put some things on?
I'm going to give two answers. I'm going to give the super spiritual answer, right? And then I'm going to give the hard work answer. And the super spiritual answer is this: be true to who you are, be authentic, and I was talking with my producer, Tony Clay, the other day, and we were talking about that verse where your gift will make room for you, and God will make a way for your gift. And so I think if you have something that sets you apart, keep being that, keep being authentic, keep being true to yourself, and people will notice, and they will want you for their event. So that's the super spiritual answer of just be who God called you to be. Don't be somebody else, because if we've already got a number of Kim Hoppers, and we only have one Kim Hopper. We only have one Kim Collingsworth. So you don't need to be those people. You need to be you. When they want Kim Hopper, they book Kim Hopper. When they want Kim Collingsworth, they book Kim Collingsworth. So when they want Sherry Ann, what is it that Sherry Ann delivers? And whether it's my communication style, the song choices, right? So be who you are so that they will book you for what you do. That's number one. Number two, the good old-fashioned way, I really just, one of the things that I do over the years, you've given me some tips, and everything from looking at Singing News magazine and looking at where different events are happening and approaching those places. But probably the biggest thing I do, and I'm going to talk to the solo artist for a minute right now. If you're a solo artist, it is harder. And I'm going to even go a step beyond that. If you are a female solo artist, it's even harder. Why that is, there's a million reasons, but the bottom line is that is what I've heard a lot of people say if they're soloists and if they're female soloists. So it's just a harder, especially in Southern gospel, because it tends to lend itself towards quartet harmony. So it tends to lend itself towards a certain style.
Right.
And so then you say, wow, so how do you get bookings, right? I'm a soloist, or I'm a female soloist. And so I've been turned down a number of times because I'm not in a quartet. So that's been difficult.
And I would like to interject, though. There's a lot of quartets out there that tell you they've been turned down a lot of times.
Good point. Good point.
Because booking is not easy.
Good point. And that might go back to my first point of, what is it that you do that sets you apart that they would want you? So making sure that you have something that's real and authentic to you. Secondly, what I did was find other solo artists and find out where they're performing. So I would look and see who are the solo artists, where are they performing, and then if they're female solo artists, where are they performing? Call those churches, send a bio.
So you do that to look at venues that are churches that are open to that particular setup. Okay.
Yeah, because I found that when I was knocking on the doors where there's one quartet after the other, it was kind of like barking up the wrong tree, as the expression goes, right? So you have to find out where are there women's conferences, right? Where are there opportunities for you to do what it is that you do? And so one of the things I started doing was making postcards, and just if I saw a conference that places that were having women's conferences, I started sending out a postcard with just a snapshot of my bio, my website, to hear more, visit SherryAnn.com. And I would send usually a postcard out right after I saw there was a women's event. So then I know that maybe they'll be thinking about a speaker or a singer for next year. So that's one of the things I did. Also on Facebook, where are your friends performing? And then I would just Facebook Messenger those churches. What's nice about the Facebook Messenger is you can see if the church actually got your message or not. So you can see in the Messenger if they read your message. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. But at least you can see if your message got through.
And this is really impressive information because Sherry is so timid and bashful and just holds back so much.
Well, see, but the joke of that is I actually am. Deep down inside I am. But I've had to learn, especially if you're going to get out there and get booked. You have to get out there.
Yeah, and I make that joke because you say a lot of things that other artists say, and you're just doing some different methods, but it all is this putting yourself out, this effort, not being afraid of a no. Or any kind of rejection. I think when Steve was in here, Steve Hess was talking about it. He devoted. He had a block of time on Tuesday and Thursday, and he would go out and lock himself in a room. He knew he had to go through 10 no's to get a yes or a maybe.
Yeah. Oh, more than 10
And so he
no's.
would get out there and go through the no's. Just get them out of the way. And everybody has their approach and their way to look at it. So obviously you've been very.
I'm more pointed, and I think it's because I'm a little bit more focused. I used to anywhere, go down to A churches, the B churches, and then just start sending out bios. I was really big on, being a hearing impaired artist, I'm big on visual, so I don't like talking on the phone, and I'm not comfortable talking on the phone. So for me, I would send out bios. I don't like talking to churches on the phone. That intimidates me. That actually, I have done it, and I don't think I'm the best at it because it's just hard for me to hear, and it's an awkward thing for me. So again, playing to your strengths and knowing what you're good at. So I like to write, and so I wrote up a really nice bio, and I've had your help over the years. And I've sent I send a bio email out. I'm big on emailing churches, and then I send a hard copy bio out, and then we did a DVD a couple years ago. I'll send a DVD out if it's really a church that I think I see they're very big into visual media, what have you. I'll send them the DVD and maybe tell them to watch this.
And we'll close with this. I've worked with you on these things, so I know Sherry Ann has, it's a 2 or 3 minute promo video where people can kind of get these not just snippets of her singing, but because what she does is more than just a concert. She has her life interspersed in between these songs, so they can kind of see that in 3 minutes. You have kind of like a one sheet that just kind of it has your image and has the bullet points of some of your achievements and things that a venue would be interested in, a church would be interested. So she has the assets and tools to go with the effort she's making, and that's very important.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when you do something, you don't even realize you've already got a lot of the things covered. It's just natural. But I just want to tell that for others that may be trying to shore up their booking approach, some of these little details to make sure that you've got all that covered, as well as the effort.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out before we do close this out to all the friends over the years, because I heard something a long, long time ago when I was in college. It was a comedian, and I said, what a great performance. And he said, if I can ever help you, let me know. And I said, well, that's awful kind of you. He said, in this industry, I've learned it's one hand down and one hand up. You always help somebody up to where you are, and you always ask somebody to help bring you up to where they are. And we're all trying to help each other. And I've had so many friends, and you all know who you are, and I'm afraid to list you because there's just too many of you. The Homecoming crew, right? Just a lot of the Gaither artists and all of those people. There's just so many of you that have allowed me to share the stage with them, share the platform with them. I've booked concerts. I've brought in artists that I aspire and like to look up to. And I've worked with them by bringing them into my hometown. That was another thing I did. So I want to thank all those artists who have ever shared a stage with me and worked on a platform with me, because that was an incredible blessing to increase my exposure to audiences that haven't heard what I do before. So that was a big part of it too.
Hey, if you haven't heard what she's done before, you can go to SherryAnn.com if you're a pastor, worship minister, or as my friend says, the local busybody in your church that just gets in all the business. SherryAnn.com, Facebook.com /SherryAnn Ministries for Facebook. If you want to check out the link of Steve Hess talking about booking and his approach, it's great to get all these different perspectives. But we do hope that something we've said today turns on a light bulb. helps you realize a few little directions you can take to improve what you do as an independent artist.
Amen. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.